Mallett from Mallett Buildings. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. We've got a pretty good little show for today. I always like to start out with $500 discount every week for military personnel, healthcare workers, educators, and first responders. Remember, we got sales going on every Saturday. If you're one of these people or these classifications, we're going to give you $500. Now, how about Tiger Cash? If you come in this week and buy a signature or a elite building and you type cash right now, we'll give you $1,000 off that building. I always like to talk about our referral program. As you can see, a tremendous amount of people refer their friends, neighbors, acquaintances, whatever you want to call it. Do you think they would be referring their friends or acquaintances to us if they hadn't had a great success with us building for them? Of course not. This says a lot. Weekly specials. Hey, we got a 20 by 50 by 12. Remember, these sales are going to end Saturday. 25, $499. You get 10 by 10 roll-up door, 136-inch walk-through door, 4-year workmanship warranty, 1 mile-an-hour wind rating, 26-gauge metal, scissor trusses, 4-inch, 4,000-pound PSA concrete, cable retention system in the concrete in every hole. This is my 3-star building. Unlike my competitors who sell a 1-star building, because they don't have about 4 or 5 of these things. That's why this building is a better building than anything they build. But that is not our best building, which I'll get to that. This is a good building, but it is not the best building I built. We have a 40 by 40, $28.99, have all the same things. Hey, a 30 by 80 for $49,499, only $21 a square foot. We also offer electrical. We have our own electricians. We're licensed electrical contractors. If you want to do any electrical work, we can give you a quote on that and help you with that also. A brief synopsis of the Mallett Signature versus the Mallett Elite. I was telling you a minute ago, we have 3 sets of buildings we build. Elite being our 5-star, Signature being our 4-star, and our Value being my 3-star building. We do not sell 1-star buildings like my competitors. Let's start here. All right. As you notice, on the Mallett Signature series, you're going to jump from a 2x6 to a 2x8 scissor truss, minimum 5-112 roof pitch, 26-gauge metal, roof and wall insulation, 2 10 by 10 roll doors. We jump the warranty from 4 to 6. Zack screws, engineered cable retention system, 4x4s, concrete under every post, engineered mono trusses. Okay? If you notice, all the white dots are what comes with the Value, my 3-star building. And then when you add the brown dots, it then becomes a 4-star building, which is the Elite. Now, I mean the Signature. Now, the best building in the business, the only building in the business that has what this building has is the building that Mallett Builders builds, which is the Mallett Elite. Now, if you notice all the white dots, that's what comes with the Value, my 3-star building. Then you add the white and the brown, that's the Signature building. Now let's see what we added to make the Elite building. Engineered 2x8 scissor truss, 10-year workmanship warranty, 3-foot truss spacing, 9-foot post spacing, 2 10 by 10 roll doors, gutters and gutter brushes, 6-inch, 4,000 PSI concrete, which makes it 1.5 times stronger than the 4-inch slab. Post protectors, insulated windows, continuous ridge vents. We offer wainscot at no extra charge, 145 mile-an-hour wind load. This is the best building in the business. No other building is offered. Now, can they build it or try to? They can try, but they don't have the right materials that we bring in. We buy truckloads of materials every week. Okay? So, the truth about steel buildings and why post frame is the smarter choice. Let's take apart the steel building narrative one myth at a time. Here we go. They say steel is stronger. Let's break that down. Their claim steel buildings are more durable and longer lasting. Post frame buildings use engineered wood trusses rated for hurricane zones and 140+ mile-per-hour wind loads. Wood has a natural flexibility that withstands pressure and stress while still often fatigues and warps over time. So I think what we're saying here is wood has the ability to be stronger than steel because it does flex. You see, in a storm, the steel building is going to either win or lose, whereas the post frame building, it's rated 145, but it's probably rated a little bit more because it'll flex a little. It'll move back and forth. So as you can tell, we are big on post frame. That's all we build. We don't just practice. We practice what we preach around here. They say steel buildings are cheaper in the long run. Well, let's see. Their claim, steel has a higher upfront cost, but you save money on maintenance and insurance. False savings. Most steel warranties are void if not installed by certified crews. Post frame buildings don't require expensive lift equipment, welding, or special installers, plus maintenance is minimal when done right, and we do it right. For instance, the insurance, the maintenance. If you build a barn-dominium with steel, you won't be able to do any maintenance on the steel because it's closed in. The other thing about being more cheaper is most of them come with not 5 on 12 roof pitches, probably 2 on 12, maybe 3 on 12. Okay? When you get to whether or not it has an upfront cost, steel is higher than you can shop around. I'll tell you right now, steel people can't compete with us. Their crews are going to charge way more, and I think I got a graph that shows the dollars per square foot. Okay? So as we look at the charts, you know, post frame, they need minimal maintenance, requires installers, higher upfront costs. That's steel. Post frame buildings, we have a lower upfront cost, and we do. Installation process simple, minimal maintenance needed. Go to the next one. They say steel is fireproof, pest-proof, and rot-proof. Well, their claim steel won't rot or get eaten by pests. Neither will pressure-treated post frame wood when done by certified pros. They come with a lifetime warranty against anything as far as rot and fungal decay, okay? If something does happen, they'll replace the post. Now, when that steel starts rusting, they're going to warrant that? I don't think so. Our buildings can also be coated in fire retardant, engineered to exceed code, and come with structural warranty. Steel has rust, especially in humid climates, and require anti-corrosion coatings, and that also drives up the cost. And steel does need a protective coating. That's a fact. Red iron has got a coating on it. You do not buy iron without some type of coating. Okay, it has to have a coating. They say steel buildings are more modern looking. Well, steel offers a cleaner, more commercial look. You can dress up a steel box, but you can't change what it is. Post frame gives buildings more aesthetic freedom and open spans, vaulted ceiling, custom roof lines, porches, dormers, the kind of curb appeal that feels like home, not a warehouse. It is hard. You can take post frame and do anything you do at stick frame construction. You can't do that with steel. You can't. The design people will tell you you can do certain things, but it is not going to be able to compete with stick frame or post frame on aesthetics. They say post frame is for sheds and farms. Yeah, well, wrong. Post frame buildings are only good for agricultural use. Our post frame buildings are being used for barndominiums, retail stores, gyms, restaurants, churches, and fire stations. We build it all, and the quality speaks for itself. We will go over this probably next week again, and I'm going to show you some pictures to come right behind this. I think that if you saw, look, in the United States of America, they're building post frame. It is predominant in the Rust Belt and predominant in the Midwest. Post frame is, not steel. Post frame is. It is moving into Louisiana. On the residential side, you see a lot of activity from the last 26 years. Now you see post frame moving now into the commercial side. Real flexibility, real performance. Post frame buildings work on any site, dirt floor, slab on grade, or piers. Engineered trusses, spaced 30 inches for extreme strength and span flexibility. Designed and built faster than steel buildings and at a lower price per square foot. The cold hard truth about steel warranties. Steel buildings often brag about a 40-year warranty, but read the fine print. Void if not installed by their team, void if modified. Void if you sneeze wrong. Well, you got to be careful there. Post frame warranties are honored by local companies like ours, and we stand behind our work personally. The cost breakdown, steel versus post frame. Steel kit packaging runs between $15 to $30 a square foot, depending what kind of steel, because that probably includes the tubular mess. That's considered steel. It's a cheap steel, but it is. But anyway, from 15 to 30, you jump to a post frame kit package, 12 to 23. But still, that's with using all the top end wood products, like #1 lumber throughout the building, engineered truss. Everything is just superior quality materials. Steel installed, average about $36 a square foot. Post frame installed, $31 a square foot. Great news about that is, in our business, you can buy the Elite for around $24, $25. So we even beat this average, and you get to the values, as you see on the sales, you're going to be anywhere from 18, 19, 20, maybe 21. And then you get the other building, drawing a blank here, folks. I'm getting old. Signature. The Signature is going to run kind of in between there. So this is a number on the average, but I'm going to tell you, we beat these numbers all day long. All right, insurance premiums often 30% lower with post frame due to reduced total exposure because it's built like a house. Okay? You don't see a lot of steel buildings being used in residential use. Why is that? If steel was so great, tell me, why don't they just build all the houses out of steel? Well, you have to build 2 houses. You have to build one out of steel, one out of wood inside of it. It's not the best product. Faster to build, easier to maintain, built to last. Post frame buildings go up faster, quicker use, lower loan interest. Simpler to modify and expand and lean to. Enclose a bay or extend the roof line. They're built to thrive in real-world conditions from the bayou to the border. Post frame is much more adaptable than steel. Final verdict, post frame wins every time. Stronger than we give it credit for, smarter from your wallet, better looking, easier to customize. Backed by real builders, not corporate fine print. The power is in the real builders. Don't buy a myth, buy a building. Ready to build smart? Call us or visit our Facebook page today. Ask about our free 3D design consultants and get testimonies from real customers who live in what we build. And you know about this, a lot of well, I've got a cheaper quote. Yeah, congratulations, you also got a cheaper building. That's that tubular stuff, folks. I'm telling you, you need to be careful with that mess. Over here, once again, I got a cheaper, this is steel. Don't think that steel is going to be better than post frame. A storm did this, obviously. You know, they may try to convince you that it's stronger, but they both, you know, they both it's not stronger than post frame. In fact, we've gone through 16 hurricanes, and I can tell you, unless a tornado hits one of my buildings, it's going to survive. A direct hit by a tornado, nothing's going to survive. But when it comes to these wind loads, our buildings are strong enough to take it. Customer, I've got a cheaper quote. Yeah, well, this is what happens. You remember the snow? This happened when all that snow got on this thing. That's a post frame building. They went with that cheap stuff, and look what happened. The sad truth about Southern Barns and Buildings. Y'all know who that is. The location of Southern Barns and Buildings. Well, folks, does that look like a business? Does that look like somebody who's going to been operating? Is going to be somebody you can deal with and have confidence in when they're operating out of their house? Then you look up here. This is their address. And look where they started. They didn't get into business till, let's see, 21. They've only been doing it 4 years. I don't think that matches to a 26-year-old business. A lack of licensing and accreditation. They've only been licensed less than a year. They only got licensed because we changed the law. They were operating illegally all those years. And I would tell you, if somebody's operating illegally all those years and just did it because they were forced to, you need to be careful. And on top of that, why aren't they accredited and where's their rating? This says a lot right here. And they've been convicted. And the people that they've hired over there, you need to be very careful. You know, I'm going to tell you, when it comes to us over here, I saw something from a customer who was doing a price match and apparently talked to one of those guys over there. And they made some comments. The bottom line to service or quality is this. You're going to get my cell number on every page of your contract. I'm going to tell it to you every time I talk on here. And so you're dealing with the owner of the company when there's real issues. Because my name's on that building. And so that's why I put my name as a one full page in the contract. And in that contract, I tell you, you have any problems with anybody here, you call me. Now that's customer service. And guess what? Don't be, well, I didn't want to call you. No, you need to call me. If somebody in my operation is not doing what they told, I want you to call, so I gave you the number. Now the yo-yos at Southern and some of the others, they're not going to be acceptable to you like I am. One, they're not open on Saturdays. Two, they don't have a 24-hour service to answer you and help take care of your business. And they hadn't been licensed 26 years, and they hadn't been in business 26 years. I can go on and on, folks. On and on. Several customers have filed, well, I think it's not complaints, but they have filed reviews. And the sad part about it, when you see somebody say something like this about somebody, first attacking Spanish people, and then attacking people who are car salesmen. My best friend, a car salesman, I don't know why they would want to attack people, but they did, obviously. Oh, I missed one. And over here it tells you they can't even get them to answer the phone. Yet they brag or try to tell people they do better than us, they're better than all kind of crazy stuff. And I don't need to get into it. Let me tell you something. Not only are they bad, they steal stuff. They stole a bunch of stuff from us when they left here. Some of these customers they got it because they took them from here. So I don't think too much of them. And really, the owner of the company, to keep them on board is I don't know why. The infamous report card that says it all. Yes, it does. Look at all those X's, folks. We're the only ones that check all these issues. You know, a lot of people say, I don't know why you bashing them. Bashing them, I'm telling you the truth about them, and the truth really does hurt. All these companies, to be honest about it, have a lot of cleaning up to do. This is terrible. I hate to see my industry have to deal with people like this. That's why I'm on the State Contractors Board, and that's what we're trying to clean up, this kind of silliness. These people are bad. Why would you want to, from a marketing standpoint, it will destroy you. Why would you get in the middle of something like this and not take care of your business? If they can't take care of their business on these items, what makes you think they can take care of your business? They can't. They can't even keep themselves out of trouble. So we keep going. Southern, okay. I have an A+ 100%. We're proud of that. Recap of weekly specials. Here we go again. Hey, 20 by, these all in Saturday now. 20 by 50, 25, 499. Hey, I got a 40 by 40 for 28,999. I got a 30 by 80 for 49,499. And those specials were in Saturday. So come in, get on the deal. We got some really good deals going here, folks. And remember, I have ambassadors all over the place. You want to go see a building, talk to someone who's bought a building, and get a real review, give me a call. Who else we got? Anything? No. Okay.
Nikki said, best in the business, can't wait to see our finish.
Okay. Remember I told you a minute ago, we're open 24/7. Every day, one of my building specialists is going to be on call to talk to you after hours. My competitors don't want your business apparently bad enough because they're not offering it. And why are they all closed on Saturday? We're open till noon on Saturday, and if you call, we'll stay here all day. And if you want to come after church on Sunday, I can guarantee you, if they won't, I'll come help you. We want your business. I can't say that about the others. It's not what you say, it's what you do, I guess, in this world. Well, that's the show for today. I'll be back tomorrow. Let me see what we got here. I know for a fact the slab cost $60,000 just for the slab to have going with red on. Okay, if you're watching, look at what some of the things Mr. Tackett is talking about. He is correct. The concrete on a steel building would be much more expensive than post frame. He's right about that. And then we talked to his next one. He says, all one needs a little basic, and he's talking about if you let us build the outer shell, you can save a lot of money. I think he says he's going to be in around 60 or 65 on a 5,500 square foot house. And what he's saying is if you use some sweat equity, you can really keep your pricing down. And then Mr. Heath says, best in the business, I can't wait to do it too so I can talk to you, sir. But thank you for your business. Thank you, Mr. Tackett, for your business and your comments. I want to thank everybody that's ever bought a building from me. Everybody that's given me an opportunity to buy a building, we thank you. We do a lot of stuff for the community, and I couldn't do it without you. Our team wants to serve you and wants to do everything we possibly can to make your experience great. So give us a call at 337-515-2154. That's my personal cell phone number. Or call the office, 337-214-0428, and talk to a building specialist. Look, have a great night. I'll see you all tomorrow, and good luck. Thank you all again.